The future is here with Luka Doncic, and this is great, right? Luka and LeBron are two guys that are really going to be your offensive hub, right? With Luka and LeBron, you are now probably, at worst, top 3 offense in the league. Talk about two of the best shot creators, offensive generators in the entire NBA, and two of the best in history of the NBA. So offensively, you're in a really good position. Problem is, defensively and particularly interior size-wise, you're lacking, right? You traded Anthony Davis, you don't really have that center. Your basically only center is Jackson Hayes right now, right? You have Koloko and Jemison on two-ways, but you can't sign them off of the two-way because your roster's full. And they need other defensive pieces, right? But if you're the Lakers, you're the only hope of you winning this year is more likely than not the offensive side of things. You need to be a top offense. You need to be, if not the best, again, top 3, and then you need to get to just being serviceable defensively. You need to be in that 18, ideally 15 range. Great example, Denver, when they won the championship. It was the first time in 40 years that a team was outside of the top 10 and had as bad of a defense as they did and won a championship, right? Their offense, though, was so good and so elite and so efficient that teams just couldn't keep up, right? They had the second worst defense in the playoffs. They were 15th in defense in the season. But they ran through the rest of the league because they were so good offensively. So your hope is that LeBron and Luka can handle that offensive burden enough to keep you engaged. But two guys, as soon as the Lakers traded for Luka, two guys became more valuable than ever before. And that was Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt, in my opinion, just became nearly untouchable because you desperately need him now. Obviously, you still need to pull off some type of trade for interior defense. But Jared Vanderbilt, the beauty of Vandal, obviously being just an elite defender, is the ground he covers and how much he can make up for defensively. Jared Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis were able to make the Lakers the best defensive team in the league with Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell as your point guard and shooting guard. That's how good Jared Vanderbilt is, right? So Vando in particular becomes so much more valuable, so much more important, so much more impactful for this Lakers team. And then obviously Dorian Finney-Smith too, because we've seen how good he is defensively, how much these two hustle and rebound and all of those things, the ground that these two cover defensively. I think that there needs to be a point, maybe not right now, just because Jared Vanderbilt's still trying to get himself right, trying to get his legs back under him and all that stuff. I think that, 15 games from now, whatever, I think you're probably going to see Jared Vanderbilt and Dorian Finney-Smith in the starting unit. I think you might have to go Luka, Vando, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and then whoever your center is. Because I think you're just going to need that defense. You're going to need the point of attack. You're going to need Jared Vanderbilt being able to defend the opposing guards, best team's guards. And then you have Dorian Finney-Smith defending the wings and just out on the perimeter. And then hopefully LeBron, because he has Luka to handle the offensive burden, hopefully LeBron can buy in a little more on the defensive side. He's been better this year than he has in the past, but he still, has just entire sequences where he just doesn't even try. So my hope is that he at least tries, right? I'm not expecting him to be an elite defensive guy, but if he can at least just be serviceable. Luka, same thing. You're hoping can he just be serviceable? Can he just slide his feet and try his best to stay in front of guys? Just keep the guy in front of you. That's it, right? I think that there is a path for the Lakers to be very good. It depends on the interior center, right? But again, if you can just get a serviceable guy, you're really leaning into Vando and Dorian Finney-Smith. These two guys are going to be everything for you. And then at that point, bring like Austin Reeves off the bench and let him kind of be the sixth man and man the second unit. That's what I think you're ultimately going to have to do, because you need the defense alongside Luka. And again, I understand people are going to look at it, but say we get Claxton. We'll just use him as an example for the center spot. I know people are going to have concerns. Well, you don't have a ton of shooting. Well, Luka can shoot. Dorian Finney-Smith shooting over 40%. Shooting I think 42%. LeBron shooting 40%, right? You're fine there. The only guys that wouldn't be able to shoot in that scenario would be Jared Vanderbilt and Nick Claxton. But Luka and LeBron are so good at creating advantages and collapsing defenses, you just need Jared Vanderbilt to constantly be on the move without the basketball, and you'll be fine. Nick Claxton in that dunker spot. I mean, these two guys, it's more, again, you're going to have Luka and LeBron combined are going to get you probably 110 to 120 points together, right? They're going to, Luka's probably going to give you 28 to 30 points per game and give you 8 to 10 assists. LeBron's probably going to get you 25 points a game and get you 8 to 10 assists. I mean, even if every single assist was a 2, you're talking say 8 assists, talking another 16 points on top of the 30. That's 46 points created just by Luka. And then same thing with LeBron. Talking the two of them are going to generate minimum 100 points per game, but you got to factor in threes and all those other things, right? I'm telling you, they're going to generate enough offense. You just need, can your defense be good enough to keep, if you score 120, that's great. But if the opposing team scores 130, you lose, right? So, Can these two guys be the hubs, right? LeBron and Luka are going to be the engine this year, in particular. Obviously, things could change in the offseason. You might be able to get some pieces, right? LeBron is supposedly, based on reports, considering taking a discount in order to, sign a new deal in the offseason and take a discount to fill in the gap and add the pieces to it. But overall, right, if you can just figure out the defensive schemes and you just trust LeBron and Luka to be your offensive engines, right? Just essentially hand them the keys and go, here you go. We trust that you two guys can just be the offense. I think that there is a path where you can end up winning and hoisting Larry O'Brien trophy. I just think you have to, it comes down, you have to be the best offense. Can LeBron and Luka get you to the best offense between the two of them? I think so. Then it just comes down to the defensive side. Can you figure out how to be better defensively? I mean, Lakers are 21st in defense right now, and when they had Anthony Davis. Right? It's not like they were this super elite defensive team. Right? And their problem wasn't really their interior. Their problem was the, perimeter. But you also had Anthony Davis. You don't have Anthony Davis anymore. So now the interior might become the problem. But if you can figure out how to just get that, just a guy that can give you some type of interior presence, right? Even Clint Capella, I think could fill the role, right? And then do something where you have Luka, Vando, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Clint Capella. Clint Capella, get your rebound in, be your lob threat, block a shot or two a game, right? Big physical interior presence. Okay, perfect, right? If you could do something like that, cool, fine. Ideally, in a perfect world, a Walker Kessler or a Miles Turner, because then at that point you do have the interior defense and you have, the shot blocking capabilities. But again, it's probably a bit of a long shot here. But in the offseason, it's something in the offseason, the Lakers might be able to pull that off. In the offseason, because again, Miles Turner's a free agent, and if LeBron's serious about maybe potentially taking a discount, that could be pretty good. But we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, if you look at what this team, obviously, in my opinion, nothing's changed on the trade market. Nothing's changed in the trade front. Trade market's always been the same, right? You've needed center and wing depth, right? Well, I just think the priorities have switched, right? You went from, in my opinion, the perimeter was the biggest priority, and then if you could get the backup center in the process, great. Well, now you have Luka, so now that's switched. Now the center, because you don't have Anthony Davis, center is the biggest priority, and then the wing depth, because again, you have these two guys. You have Vando and you have Dorian Finney-Smith. You have two guys that can come in and be that for you. You have the two guys that can come in and just be those menaces out on the perimeter, out on the defensive side of things, and just provide the point of attack, provide the just defensive versatility and switchability. They become our Bash brothers. You need these two guys on the basketball court as much as possible. I think you start both of them. I think you close both of them. And then throughout the second and third quarter, you just sprinkle them both. Like one is always on the court, right? I think both of these guys need to play 30 minutes a game. And you're doing it for defense purposes. Obviously, Jared Vanderbilt right now, I don't think you can really do that. But as you see the progress this season, I do think you're going to see Vando become more and more important, more and more significant, more and more impactful, and rightfully so. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree that these two are just, they're going to be far too impactful? Do you think, again, I'm not saying that you don't need trades. Obviously, if you can get perimeter help, get perimeter help. If you can get interior, I'm just saying, even if you do, these two guys are still so incredibly important. So incredibly important. But, again, love to hear it. How do you feel? Down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.